I've been running this solo. I've been on my dollar. Everybody acting like they know me, but they don't know. I've been on go-mo, never in slow-mo. I only come in second to my GoPro. Losing, that's a no-no. Losing, that's a, losing, that's a, losing, that's a no-no.
All right, what we're gonna talk about today, man. We're gonna talk about love relationships with a foster child, man. And I'm gonna keep it straight. This is not everybody, right? Like, I'm gonna tell you from my perspective, right? There's a million different people in the world, or billions of different people in the world. What I feel ain't what everybody feel. I'm just telling you what I feel, and if people relate, they might understand what I'm talking about. So growing up at five, or in the system since five, right? Um, when it came down to being in relationships with girls, right? You got to understand a couple things. I've never at one point been taught how, like, I ain't had no pop, no mom, nobody sitting there being like, yo, like, this is how you talk to girls. This is what you expect from girls. Everything was on the whim off the cuff, right? And I had nothing to offer at all. Like, even when I was younger, obviously no car, but, no fancy bike, no, none of that. I ain't have none of that, right? It was all raw emotion going into. Now, you got to understand, as a child that pretty much you might as well say is not loved at this point. You feel like you ain't got nobody that really loves you back at home. You know what I'm saying? So when you loving somebody or feel like you love, it's puppy love. But when you feel like you loving somebody, that's it. That's everything. So take that normal teenage or young teenage feeling, right? When you got younger girls, like when you younger, 12 years old, you know what I'm saying, 13 years old, and y'all like a girl, right? Take that times a million. So like when people be like, oh, I think I'm in love with them, like, no, you really feel like you in love with them. Like, I love this person. This is it. I'm marrying this person. That's it. You know what I mean? 12 years old, I'm marrying this person. That's how you feel. But the other problem is, like, you putting everything into that and all your stock into that because you ain't got nowhere else to put it. So it's all going into that one spot. So you love this person. Like, you love this person more than you're supposed to love this person. Put it like that, right? But it comes with a backside, right? So for somebody like me that bounces so many different foster homes back and right? Everybody I love feel like they turned their back on me at some point and walked away. So of course that's going to build some type of maybe abandonment issues, right? So losing that person is a problem, right? You definitely don't want to lose that person to nothing or nobody. But at the same time, you can't trust that person. You don't trust nobody. Nobody. Let me read it that one time. Nobody. You don't trust anybody farther than you can throw them. So you love this girl or like this girl, whatever the case may be, but you can't trust her worth two pennies. Like you don't. You don't trust nobody. So whenever they not around you, you know what I mean? They must be liking somebody else. When they not talking to you, they must be talking to somebody else. When it don't matter what they doing. If they out studying, they on the phone with another boy. That's just how you think all the time. Now, like I said, I was a nut. I was a nut when I was younger. It is what it is. Like, you know what I mean. I had a lot of growing to do. I had no idea. I thought I was already there. I was not. And it's not every cat. I might just be a sucker. That's just me. But this is how I grew up. So growing up, I'm just trying to give you my mindset of how I was thinking about things, right? Like, I ain't never had nobody love. So this one girl liked me. She's spending time. She's telling me she liked me. You love her. That's my baby. That's it, right? And that's pretty much how all your relationships go from that point on. Every girl that you meet, you love that girl. Like, she's everything to you. That's who you want to be with regardless, right? So when you break up with a girl, oh, it's like the end of the world. Everything is crashing. Like, everything is crashing and burning. But at the same time, like, you not exactly the best candidate in the world neither. It's not like you I'm gonna just call it what it is Mr. Faithful neither. Like, you're not the greatest in the world. You're looking for, any and every person that'll love you. Like, and if that's other girls too, like, no, that's what it is, right? I'm telling on myself, I'm a sucker. But it is what it is. Like, that's what it was at them ages, right? Now you do find certain girls that you just like so much that it's like, yo, that she's everything. I'm not, not messing around. I just want to be with her. but at the same time, you so probably controlling and excessive compulsive, man, that you just really running them away. You know what I mean? So like you, unlike most people who can look in the mirror and be like, yo, I don't think I was really ever an ugly dude. Like I always consider myself to be fairly, attractive. But I couldn't see my own beauty. Like I was looking at it into the mirror and I seen this dude looking back at me, but I was like, yo, I can't find the beauty, but I'll find the flaws. Quick. Like until I had a child, it was harder for me to figure out how to learn love myself. I had to pretty much feel like what I was dressing like was me. So I felt beautiful when my get up was amazing. So when I had like a fresh lay on, I was like, oh man, like crushing the game. I look amazing, right? So it was really what I was wearing. It wasn't me personally. Like me personally, I was like, whatever. I don't even know why she liked me, right? So when you grow up a certain type of way, you ain't got nobody to love you. You got nobody to go home to enforce that they love you or tell you that they love you. You don't hear the words "I love you" pretty much at all, right? And every time you get off that phone, the only thing that loves you at this point was on the other side of that phone. So whenever she's not around, you right back into the dumps. You go from feeling your highs straight down to your lows all the time. But for the most part, man, as a foster child, that's how love was. Until you grow up and figure out who you are as a person, and not all of us can do that, that's love. So love one-on-one as a foster child, this is what love is like as a foster child. You pretty much are obsessive compulsive, overbearing, and controlling. At least I was. So lifestyles of a foster child. Till next time, it's Let's Talk TV.
I've been running this so long. I've been on my dollar.